Hey, and welcome to episode 9, Episodio 9 de los Super Bros podcast.
Super bro.
Starring Miguel, Jose, and Candido.
What's up?
Welcome back, Miguel. Thank you.
Yeah, Miguel, we missed you, bro.
I missed it.
We did.
I miss you guys. I definitely tuned in afterwards.
How did we represent you well?
I think so. I really like the episode with Andy. Andy's really cool. I have a lot of love for him. A lot of respect for him and his artwork. So it was cool. It was cool what you guys were talking about.
Pablo's feedback from the law enforcement side of things when we were addressing Black Lives Matter and the police shooting.
Oh, right.
That was pretty good too. That was
good.
He definitely provided us with some insight that we wouldn't have been able to speak of.
That was good, and it was crazy because the very next day was when the whole Dallas cop shooting thing happened. So that was super intense. Timing.
Wow.
Yeah,
the timing,
strange. Yeah. A lot has happened.
Yeah, Pablo. Shout out to Pablo. Yeah.
So we're here.
He's upset. He's upset at us.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah, we started at 5. I'm sorry. All right. So what are we talking about today? It's more like
maybe we should address that. So
yeah,
just really quick. Today we're starting. We're doing this a little bit earlier than usual, and it's in order to accommodate myself because I'm gonna go ahead and engage in salsa classes.
Yeah,
and they start a little bit after 7.
Wow.
And I'm gonna do that for the next few weeks. So
good.
These guys were generous enough to open up their schedule a little bit earlier.
Cha.
Most important.
That's why
Most importantly is just so you can get your salsa on, man. We need you to be on point when you're out there on the dance floor.
That's it. I'm gonna be like that emoji.
Yeah, exactly.
What, the lady with the dress?
Without the dress.
or we could be like the other one with the bunnies and they have the leg out to the side and the leotards.
Better.
Right.
Yeah.
Better. Okay, so today's topic is really today's anti-topic. Let's call it that, because it's what we don't want to talk about. It's what we're tired of talking about. The RNC and the DNC. No TPP. We have a protester.
I'll turn your lights out, bro.
I will turn your lights out. We have protesters in our own podcast. This is fantastic. We wouldn't have it any other way. So the RNC and the DNC, the Republican and Democratic National Conventions, have happened in the past 2 weeks, and that's all anyone and everyone has seen on their Facebook and Twitter feeds. That's all we've been watching and focusing on. And before this, in the pre-show, we started having a talk about it, and we're exhausted personally. All of us, we're just tired of it. We're still going to pay attention. It's still very important, but I think we want to focus on how it makes us feel or how it affects our interpersonal relationships. Just the side effects, let's put it, of the convention. So, Dito, how have you felt?
All right, so let's start at home. I know at some point that can become kind of private, but it has actually been a unifying factor for my wife and I. It's something that we have been watching together, something that we have been talking together. So in that regard, I enjoy it, and it's good for us, because I think there's an aspect of it that allows for us to even get to know each other a little better than we already know each other, and maybe project some ideas into the future of things that will matter to us. Right. So that's super useful. I don't know. Have you guys seen any effects at home that you're willing to share, or?
Personally, it's been something we do now. But the way I treat it, I almost feel bad, like for my wife. But she's super cool with it. I'm just like, I'm sorry we're watching this now. I know we should be watching a show on Hulu or Netflix, but thank you for spending this time. She's always very super accommodating. Like, no, it's fine. This is great. Whatever. But I'm apologetic that I have to be glued to this thing for hours every evening. Right. But it does. I like what you say. It brings you together. Kind of where do you stand on things? The similar ideas. How you feel about your own personal future? Because that's kind of what this is about anyway, right? Or supposed to be about, is the future of this country. Right. So, Miguel?
Yeah, I mean, I think ideologically, my wife
Yes.
Hey, look at that. Welcome to the ring club.
And I have always kind of been along the same lines. We agreed on a lot of things politically. And so, I mean, that's kind of necessary, right? When just to be with somebody. I mean, maybe not necessarily, but I think
it definitely plays a role. It definitely plays a role.
Right. So right now we're both definitely in terms of the DNC and the RNC conventions. We're definitely along the same. We definitely are of the same mind when it comes to how these things are playing out. Without getting too much into it, because I know we're trying to avoid that.
Okay.
But yeah, we talk about it constantly. When I was sharing with these guys before we got on air that at work she's sort of having these debates with people about the whole voting Dem versus voting for a third party thing.
Right.
And so we're on the same page when it comes to that. But yeah. I would say the whole political process over the past year has definitely been something that we touch on at least a few times a day.
Bond over even.
In terms of family, though, actually, I've been talking a bit with my cousin, one of my cousins from Honduras, who's she's pretty involved politically, and we don't talk. We actually don't get a chance to talk much, but because of this, we've been sort of going back and forth and sharing links. So that's really interesting to get somebody's perspective from outside of the U.S. and how how U.S. politics is affecting them.
It's affecting them is viewed from then. You brought up an interesting kind of good segue into how this affects work life, right? I got for my company, we got an email memo saying, basically saying, listen, guys, I know the elections are really heated, but can you try and keep it civil? Otherwise, we're going to take disciplinary action. So because they already know, they can tell that people have very strong opinions and water cooler talk, right? They're going to hash it out and debating each other. So companies are already prepared for this, but you guys have how's the workplace? Well, Dito, you're not even working right now, are you?
Yeah, but just real quick though, because something that is applicable to this, right? So right now, I guess we're in the heat of it. Like it's a pretty controversial time about deciding who you're representing and what side you're going to be joining. And we really still have till November, but I guess everybody wants loyalty now. The only thing about workplace that I have noticed during this particular election season was I did not hold back on being judgmental when I pulled into a parking lot sometime around early May, I think it was, and I saw that one of the teachers had a Ben Carson sticker on the back on like a bumper sticker. Okay, and I almost didn't want to talk to him anymore. Like I was like, I could finish the school year not talking to this guy.
That's funny.
It does say a lot, though. It does. I mean, if you're throwing your support behind, let's say Trump, right? Like that kind of says something about you, right?
It does, and like even signs that you put up. I know I go like running on runs and stuff, and you see the different signs that are posted, and you run by some Bernie signs, you run by some Trump signs, and it makes you completely think of that house and the people who live in it a different way.
Oh man, right?
You're like, that's a great family who lives there. Oh, what a dog crap piece of family that lives in that house. And it's weird, like as big as a Bernie supporter that I was, I didn't want to get a bumper sticker. You know why? Because I didn't want to have the constant thought of judgment as I was driving down the road and fear that someone might not like it and might do something to my car. It was just too much to constantly, because you are putting yourself out there to a degree.
Sir,
you are.
Yeah.
Miguel, workplace.
I'm not going to go too much into it. I'll just say that I definitely don't talk politics at the workplace.
I'm sure
it's very conservative and hostile to all things liberal.
It's
or progressive. So yeah.
And it's case by case too, right? Because everyone deals with
That's true.
in a different way. You know, some people will confront the conservatism or the people who they don't agree with at their workplace, and some people just lay back and like, oh, okay.
Absolutely, there are people at the workplace that I can have these conversations with, but as a general rule of thumb, I don't talk about it. Because this is the same. You know, this is the same type of place where people will be upset that President Obama is even on the TV screen.
Right.
So it's like, if that's gonna upset you, nothing that I say, I just can't.
You're probably one of them. Yeah.
So,
but what's funny is we judge, right? We're judging machines.
Oh yeah.
Right. So we judge each other. Or you judge people on your posts. I think
it's true, but it also comes from experience. So like I have tried to engage people at the workplace about political issues, and it usually doesn't go well. So
now let's take it to. Are we cool to take it to the internet? Right. I think that's where. Right. So now, how have we noticed this election facing internet relationships, which, to be honest, is
shaming.
Is a great deal. Shaming. That's good. Let's write that down on the board.
Shame.
There's actually a board here.
You guys watch Game of Thrones?
Where you can change topic. Do you guys see
Really? Let's put it to shame. I haven't seen that. The topic now is shame.
I'm not sure how to do it. It's just a button.
I think. That works as a tag so that people who people can see what we're talking about. Yeah, people who are searching.
People are searching for shame.
Okay.
Yeah, well, who searched that? Right?
I agree with you 100%. There's a lot
of unfollowing going on, defriending.
Yeah, and threats more than actual doing, just threats of defriending with stipulations. It's like, if you believe in this or this, defriend me now, or don't talk to me now.
Well, I think what kicked it all off was the comedian, what's her name, Sarah Silverman or something.
Oh, kicked it off recently.
Recently, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, and her comment of
ridiculous.
You're being ridiculous.
Which has been, which is all I see on my Facebook.
There's a lot of memes. There's a lot of memes. Poor Sarah, man. Poor Sarah. She's just trying to do good things and be funny, and now she's a meme. But you know what? What are you gonna do?
But was it? All right. So she's a comedian,
right?
So I took it as soon as I saw her on stage. I was like, I'm not gonna take what she says serious because I don't think she's about to take this serious.
I don't know
right. And then she goes on to say that she felt the burn, but then she took some cream and it was all good. And I was like, nah, that's not. We probably shouldn't go there yet.
Right.
And then and how could you be a Bernie supporter and then like you may want to tell them something, but you don't want to call them ridiculous. You just claim that you were one of them. What just happened?
To call anyone, I think that's the biggest problem with her remarks was that you're just telling someone their ideas suck, and instead of openly engaging or like, hey, I feel for you and let's have a discussion, it was very dismissive, and no one wants to be dismissed. Yes. No one wants to feel that way. That you're just
dismissive,
right?
And reductive. It's what you know what I mean, like. Sarah Silverman, Jon Stewart, all of these sort of political comedians, right?
Right.
They all play a role in taking what's going on in the news and sort of just reducing it and normalizing it. When a lot of these issues are really, it makes sense for people to get upset with some of these issues, with a lot of these issues, right?
Very complex.
Yeah. So I don't think it's very helpful.
No, and it just becomes fodder, right? Because then it just, for the other side, it's like, oh yeah, I'm ridiculous. Well, here, and then now they're ridiculous and everything.
Well, hold on, because like the Daily Show and those and
I don't think you can lump them in the same way. I don't think you can put Sarah Silverman in the same category as.
No, I'm talking about that. I think you can.
It's different. No, I feel like she kind of.
I think the two platforms are different. If Sarah Silverman was hosting her show and she called somebody ridiculous at the show. Okay, but she did it at a convention that people that are in that crowd. That's not just anybody. Those are delegates. Those are people who They represent us.
And it was
so there's some people that are upset in that crowd. Those are our votes.
And it was off the cuff too. So she wasn't even performing. It was more just like, hey, I have this moment because I have to fill time. So here's how I really feel about it. So it came from a different place.
And that's in that sense, I would definitely agree that they're different in that sense. But I think they're equally not helpful. And part of the problem. Honestly.
Back to the social media thing.
Yeah.
Back to social media. So I've been defriending since Black Lives Matter situations. So right now it's just part of the routine. I'm just waiting. I just wait. Like I feel like I sit there and look at my timeline, just waiting for somebody to slip.
Tito's down to his last 5 friends.
Lately, I've been seeing that.
That's why no one watches this podcast.
Yeah, exactly. It's because of me. So I've been seeing a lot of that judgment thing. But what I have been seeing is weird. Is these people, so most of the people that are on my timeline were Bernie supporters, right? And now that he's not the nominee, suddenly did they just become uninformed, or are they no longer intellectual? Like they can't just speak intellectually? Like what just happened?
Fear.
We didn't lose intellect because he wasn't a nominee. We didn't.
So what? So you're saying Bernie supporters? What are they doing now specifically?
Like on my timeline, they're just
see them. They're silent.
They're just bashing things, right? So it's not like hey, let's not like Miguel just said TPP inside here. It's not an article on why we really should battle against that or speak out against that. It's more like this guy's speaking Spanish. Period. Well, what? Like what now? Like what does that have to? He's speaking Spanish.
Can I bring it back around to sports? This is all just a big sporting event to people, and that people pick sides, because I know exactly what you mean, right? So the criticism of him speaking Spanish, which there might be some valid criticism. Some may say that he's pandering because of his Spanish over-the-top use, but some people just immediately say, "Oh, he's Spanish. Who does he think he is?" Right? It's because he's not part of their team, right? He's not representing the team that they are on. Right. And it's easy. It's instinct to be just bash, to just kind of I don't know. It's
right, and that's not to dismiss Miguel's perspective.
No, not at all.
If you're going to say something is wrong or it bothers you that Kane speaks Spanish, then what's your reason? Not just like don't just throw that out there and then move on, because you're not doing anything intellectual.
What was their point in saying that?
That's exactly the point. Is that he didn't see a point?
And I'm starting to see a lot of that. Like, I'm watching DNC. I'm watching DNC not to be critical, or rather, I am being critical because there's certain things that I'm looking for. What I mean is, I'm not just watching it and then saying the things that I don't like.
Right.
What I want to have a conversation about is I want to take things out of a convention that maybe weren't as important. Like, hey, how it really is important to be good at public speaking. Like, you can totally own the world if you could just be great at public speaking. I want to pull those things out of watching this convention because I'm committed to it, right? I'm watching it 12 in the afternoon till 12 at night, straight through 12 hours. Whether I'm at the gym, if I'm listening to it on the radio, or if I'm at home and it's playing on the TV. Like, I want to know these things. I want to know, like, hey, there's probably a reason why these things aren't getting done. This person can't speak. Like, why is this person representing this particular cause? They're not gifted.
When you said that, I know we didn't want to talk specifics, but I thought about Tim Kaine and stuff and his speech, and I just thought it was hilarious because he was so not funny that it was funny in a way.
And they stuck in between two powerhouses.
Yeah, no, he was really bad in a good way, if that makes sense. Again, I'm getting too deep into it already. But
I actually didn't see it.
You didn't see it. You didn't want to see. You want to hear him speak Spanish.
I enjoyed and didn't enjoy it at the same time, which I think is a good thing. But his comedic timing was like the memes about him now are that he's like a dad. He's like the stepdad. He's like America's stepdad. Like all his jokes are super corny. but
he really
everyone was
does come off
enjoying
as
it.
a regular guy.
Yeah. It was humanized. That's the other thing they kept saying is humanizing. They want to humanize these people, right?
That's kind of hard when you're one person speaking in front of a huge audience, and then knowing that the television audience is even larger. There's no humanizing there.
So I'm actually just to go back to social media.
Yeah, please. Thank you.
People's reaction to what's going on. I'm actually seeing something very different, and what that looks like is former Bernie supporters, right?
Right.
Sort of now, some of them are now saying, okay, we need to rally behind Clinton, but there's no substantive sort of reason for it.
Well,
Right.
And so
Right.
I see them actually like shaming people into doing it.
into voting Clinton or
Right. Into
right.
voting for the Democratic.
Yes.
Which is, but it's interesting because these are people who were, I mean, last week, super progressive,
Exactly.
super against Hillary Clinton.
Right. These are
super
my
against
ideals. This is what I stand
corporatism,
for. I'm not going to take anything less.
warmongering. And so now it's like, okay, but we need to just do, and it's just like, doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But so that's one take, and then the other take are people who were with Hillary all along, and those are more along the lines of the people who are like just straight up shaming.
Shaming or a
the
lot
Bernie
of
supporters that are not getting behind.
or a lot of nah. I don't know how would you describe
Seen
that?
that? I haven't seen
I
that.
haven't seen that. I actually haven't seen too much of that.
Like
Not-
I told you so. I told you so.
Yes, but not directly. I told you so. But you know what I've seen a lot of is people attacking Bernie Bros, specifically Bernie Bros, and I've actually never been a big fan of that term. That term actually is kind of offensive to me because it really reduces an entire following of a person to like this frat guy. It's kind of like the Super Bros, right?
Oh, we had talked about that.
Yeah.
We had that conversation.
We did. So people are saying like, I could see the Bernie Bros now, just as an example or something. It's like a personal win. Like they got their win against the other team, and they're so they're sort of rubbing it in their face.
Yeah.
Instead of saying, okay, let's unite, it's like, we won. This is our victory. Finally, I saw that too. Finally, he's on board. Or also, he's on board now. Why can't you be on board?
Oh, I seen that.
Right. So I've seen a lot of different things.
I was gonna say, here's another one. This one is telling people now, like, hey, you don't have to vote for either one of those two, and it's not really hard to do your research on Jill Stein or Gary Johnson. But research was never hard because we didn't have to do it. Like the candidates that at one point most of these people were backing, like let's say Bernie Sanders or Hillary Clinton, they were available on the news, or other people were talking about it. Maybe not to the extent that we would have liked Bernie to have been, right? Because it took us a while to see his rallies, and we had to investigate a little bit more. But it was available. You could find it. So I don't know why. I don't like that people are saying it's not that difficult to do research, because yes, it is difficult because it's not the same thing. There's no comparison. If you want to know about Green Party or Libertarians, you really have to go do that research.
Yeah, it's not just gonna.
That's a commitment. Yeah,
absolutely. Yep.
Green. What are we talking about now? Still on social
media.
media.
Still on social media. Yeah, that's still social media.
Right? I can't. The shame thing is big for me. Like the shaming.
You're seeing it a lot, huh?
It's sort of the way that we're kind of reacting to each other. We're sort of in this thing where we want to have a dialogue and a conversation about these issues. I think a lot of people are turned off by even wanting to mention anything because they don't want to. Honestly, they don't want to lose a friend, right? You don't want to lose some of the people who you care about because you disagree with them politically, and they may not want to engage. They might want to engage to that level. I don't know. It's tough, man. It's tough times right now. There's a lot of disagreement.
It's also super revealing, though. And then
it's terribly. It's actually awfully revealing.
Yeah, and then so that tells you something about your friendship with somebody. Actually, in a weird way, do I know this person as much as I thought I knew them?
So let me say this, because Miguel wasn't with us when we were talking to Pablo. But the whole that defriending process, and my basis for it is, at this point in my life now, the friends that I have in my life, there's a great chance they're also going to be the village that raises my future children. I you two guys are somebody that I'm going to want in my circle. I feel comfortable with you guys. I feel, I feel like you have great knowledge, great insight, and you're good people that I would want, or that I wouldn't mind around my children. And these things that some other people are saying on social media, I'm I couldn't even imagine. I couldn't even begin to imagine my child hearing what that guy or that lady is saying. And I would,
but don't you want to expose your child to different perspectives?
So strangers will take care of that, right? Strangers will gladly,
That's
help my children experience racism, help them experience classism. Strangers will gladly take care of that. I don't think I need my close friends to do that.
It's a really good point.
How are we doing on time? I can't even tell.
We reached 30 minutes.
Have we?
We've hit 30 minutes, but
let's keep rolling. I'm good.
Yeah.
So where else? That's social media, right?
That's a big part of it. Yeah. So a lot of retweet on the Twitterverse. There's tons of retweeting. Whenever someone would give a good quote at the convention, that gets. Yeah. I can't tell you how many times I've seen Obama's line. It's don't boo, vote, which was a good line. That got retweeted a lot.
Saying that for 8 years though.
But the thing is, people took it.
I think people still don't get it though.
But when people take it, I think that's one thing that they shove in people's faces as a no. It's don't you see? The president said, "Do not boo, go vote." And even though he didn't say who for, he said, "Vote for Hillary."
I think people are super susceptible to just
charm.
What's it called? Or
no, they are. I'm guilty as charged. If
I was entranced last night.
Someone is really charming.
Were you?
Yeah.
I was not moved at all from any of these speeches, even from some of the speakers who I thought were
I'll tell you who I was the biggest sucker for Biden, bro. I was.
Were you?
Almost fangirl, bro. I was almost fangirl for that guy.
He was good.
Why is that? That's strange. What is it about Biden?
Probably charm.
You know what? It's that charm thing.
But what?
See, I don't associate him with letting me down, because I didn't have any expectations for him. So he never let me down. Right? He never let me down. I never held him accountable of anything. I didn't know who he was when I heard first voted for him. And I don't know. That was it. I was just man, this is just a good guy. I don't know anything bad about him. I don't associate him with anything bad.
Very
so to me, he was just a good guy.
Sometimes that's okay.
Yeah. So when he came and hit the stage in a godlike manner, because that's commanding the audience.
Dude, he came out to Rocky. He came out to Gonna Fly Now. Come on. That was one of my favorite. That was one of my favorite movies growing up. So it hit a very core spot in me. I was like, oh my god! And he's in Philadelphia.
On his way out, he wasn't focused on the. He wasn't focused on the whole. God bless America. He was like, come on, come on,
a guy's guy, right?
Yeah.
And this is so crazy.
Miguel was not charmed.
This goes,
which is fine.
This goes back to the whole Pokemon Go thing.
What?
Of how people are so susceptible to.
That's okay. Sometimes that's okay.
Charmed.
That's okay. We want to be Charmander. You want to be Charmander?
Okay. It's okay if it's Pokemon Go. If it's a legacy of war and extractionist capitalism.
Right.
I mean, we're talking about this now, right? We're growing up and we're starting to think about having families and how our friends, right? Our circle of friends is going to affect their lives, right? And so in that same respect, right, having getting older, I'm sort of, my mindset is shifting, and I've always been pretty serious, but like shifting away from, you know, this sort of jovial, sort of like,
Yay, America.
what's the word?
No. Patriotism?
Oh, I've never been about American exceptionalism. But no, just sort of taking everything nonchalant, whatever, and
Sure.
and starting to realize that
This is serious.
that we
This is
need,
not
we
a
need
game.
we need to do some work, right? We need to do some work.
Mhm.
But yeah, I don't know where I was going with that.
Well, I'll put it this way.
it just
Is there-
going back. Yeah,
Is there
it's
anything
surprising
wrong?
how easily people are distracted by.
Is it surprising though?
It is surprising actually, because
I'm not surprised
these
at
are
all.
some of the people that I'm having these conversations with, right? Like
Mhm.
Like me.
about politics, or yeah, well, us, but outside of this group too. Outside of
Yeah.
this group too, it's
Yeah.
like see how it's like. Oh, okay, yeah, I'm totally for Bernie Sanders, but oh wait, there's a Charizard over there,
Right.
and you know.
Wait, what are you
it's-
talking about?
He's totally describing us, bro.
It's-
He's saying people not inside. He's saying people he talks about outside of this group. All he means is
No,
when he talks to us
I wish I had
outside of the
Charizard.
black.
It's really everybody. It's even my brother-in-law, which is crazy because I never thought he would be somebody to be like playing Pokemon. He's playing Pokemon.
Now is
That's
Now
great.
is Pokemon a metaphor, really, or is it? I don't think it is. I think it's the issue
Oh,
is
right
with
now?
Pokemon. Yeah.
It's literally about Pokemon. Because if we were playing Pokemon, if we were playing Pac-Man 256 on our mobile, forget it, bro.
Oh,
This
yeah,
guy Miguel
no.
wouldn't even have criticized us, bro. He would have
Right.
been like, "Why aren't we
Nah,
playing right now?"
Why aren't you on
Let's
level
play
50?
together.
Why don't you have
Yeah.
the bow on the head yet and make her
Exactly.
See, but that's the thing.
transgender Pac-Man?
Exactly.
I brought it.
The thing with games like that, like Pac-Man, and this is a whole other conversation we could have.
But it's happening right now.
Right. But it's not the type of game where you're like invested in securing
Right.
things for yourself, like securing little items and
The
icons to
socialist
sort of
game.
like, build
Where we
build
share-
yourself up. It's not. It's a game that has where the gameplay loop is about you.
Mhm. Growing as a person.
No, it's not about that at all. It's
Running for your life from ghosts until
Right.
until you
And you can-
eventually have enough power to defeat them. But once again, you're
Ah.
going to lose that power again.
but it's very much about the core gameplay mechanic and not the gamification of collecting all these things so that you can post on social media and stuff like, hey, look at all this stuff I have.
So you don't want me to win my trophies? Is that what you're saying, Miguel?
I'm saying we need to think about what this is actually doing to us.
I'm actually, for one, a giant fan of gamification of everything possible. Of like,
I was at first, but
of as many things as I
seeing
can in
how-
my life.
Seeing how people are more interested in the meta of games and not the actual games themselves has me taking a step back and really thinking about
Mhm.
what it's doing to games in general.
That is a deep other conversation. I mean, but I get it, right? But will you come from the perspective of like not a game purist, but someone who really cares about how games are constructed and played and are perceived in culture.
Mm.
Whereas I just want more
Sorry.
points. I want more things. I want more
And that's the
money.
thing.
I want more Pokemon. I want more. I want more.
And
steps.
it's not just you, bro. I think it's people in general.
Right.
I think society in general has
Yes.
adopted this lust for that, and it's sort of
Do
it's strange. No, like so we have a group for our frat brothers that play games, right?
Yeah.
Our Love Gamers group,
Pokemon.
and no,
No,
and I
don't hit it.
posted something about Destiny, right?
uh-huh.
Okay.
Do you want to let?
No,
Wait.
don't hit it, man.
Wait, what?
No, you know Miguel. He's quick with the welcome to the conversation.
Oh,
Well, anyway, to finish my point,
right,
I
right.
posted that thing about how right Destiny is supposed to be this massive multiplayer game where you enjoy with different people, right? But it's actually not about that at all. It's a very self-focused experience where you're just like collecting things, and so it actually takes away from the cooperative experience of the game. Why are all these people joining all of a sudden?
I don't know. Because they're really
I think 'cause
interested in gaming.
I think because we talked about Pac-Man. That's how.
Yeah, I think so. Welcome to Pac-Man Talk here with me. Where his two
So
sidekicks,
they're just posting emojis.
Blinky and I don't remember the other ghost
Oh,
names.
we're not gonna understand. We're not gonna understand.
That's fine.
We just got left out.
So
Let it
anyway, do we
roll.
want to unpack? Do we
Yeah.
want to unpack that a bit, or are we?
Yeah, go for it, man.
No, that's it. I've said my point. I don't know if you guys want to respond to it.
So you're saying that it's a little different, right? And that you don't really agree with the gamification aspect of things.
I'm sort of.
Well, where it's going.
Yeah, I'm sort of dumped. I'm sort of like all over the place about it because I don't know what to think about it. And I'm sort of thinking through it now, but what it actually means. Why are people so enthralled by like collecting things?
So you're wondering why they are, or you're more worried that they are? Because it's two different things. Because I can tell you why they are.
Yeah, I guess I'm more worried.
Right.
That I worried about the idea of it replacing games, which I think is like, I think that's what's going on.
Okay. So this augmented reality, like now the whole world is a game, which is what all these things are, right? Pokemon Go, the Fitbit. I have only 2 examples. I'm sure there's more.
That's good enough for what we do.
It's augmented. So you're afraid that is going to replace actually, crafted console tactile gaming and the art. The art.
I'm afraid, right? The art and the actual fun of playing the game, the actual mechanic, the actual competition. If it's a multiplayer game,
the motor,
the actual
right.
Right, all of it, because what it's become, right, is if we take Pokemon Go, for example, but there are other things we could talk about. Pokemon Go is really just swiping up.
Yeah.
And there's really not much challenge to
sometimes you gotta like kind of really curve it a little bit.
It's true. Wait. Absolutely. But really, other than that, it's just going from point A to point B until there's really no challenge. There's really there's really nothing exciting or like
There's no
not different.
There's no challenge. But I get what you mean. There's no there's no real skill that you need to adopt. There's no skill that you need to adopt in terms of like tactility with your fingers. Have we just been hacked?
No, maybe telling us to hack Pokemon Go.
That's great.
So I don't know, Jose, are you answering this or?
I'm not sure what to answer.
Okay, so look, I feel differently about it. I have mixed feelings about it. It is a great distraction from things that should be super significant in our life. However, the results or what I've seen as what has taken place since I played that game, whether it is as simple as how much brothers it became interactive in that Facebook group that we hadn't had dialogue in a while. So that's sudden uprising. That's not.
But how much is that surface? How much is that?
Well, all right. So let me continue.
How much is that more than? Yeah, let him continue.
Let me continue because
while I'm jumping, Miguel Google Translate and to see what
Miguel mentioned an aspect of competitive gaming. That instantly became competitive to me as soon as I seen like somebody like Pablo's like high streaks, and I'm like, well, I should go out there and get it done. I've interacted with people in my neighborhood that I never met before because, just going at Pokestops and I start to see them more often. I'm like, hey, what's up? How you doing? I'm meeting their dogs, like, because they're out walking their dogs. And that's an interaction that wouldn't have happened. It's not working against my goals of my step count that I had initially like created. So it's not working. It's not working against me. It's not working against me at all.
No, but what my point is that you're not really having fun playing the game. You're playing the game as a means to an end, and that end goal is basically showing off your accomplishments instead of actually having fun.
But you do that with trophies.
In
console
I guess
gaming.
you can make that argument, but I don't play games to get trophies. I play games to actually play the game.
You told me that in the past, that there's games that you can't stop playing because you cannot feel comfortable not achieving a trophy.
Absolutely, I have said that, but let me clarify.
Okay.
If I've gotten 80% of the trophies for a game, I will play the rest or I'll try to.
Yeah.
If it's easy enough to do, not easy enough, but if it's like conceivable. Some games have trophies where it's like, I'm just never going to get it. I just don't have the time to spend doing it. And that's more about my sort of obsessive compulsive nature. where I just like to see 100%.
But it's applicable to gaming, though. That's
and by all means, I'm not saying I'm apart from this, right? I was on day one playing Pokemon and going out and trying to do it.
right.
I have a Fitbit, and I also enjoy these. I also enjoy gamification. But what I'm saying is, I'm afraid that it's going to replace game, right? That it's replacing games, because the thing is, like, right, with the game, with the group, with the Facebook group is a perfect example of, like, okay, we're all connected, but how many of those people have you actually had a solid multiplayer, like, gameplay experience with?
Well, we can't with that game yet, right? I mean, that game is just
no. But
overall,
besides Pokemon, just overall.
I don't know. I don't know how many members. I mean, maybe 5 people out of that group. I don't know how many members are in that group right now, but maybe 5.
But not even consistently, right?
No.
The people that we play games with is you and me.
Yeah, Mike, Pablo.
Pablo sometimes, right? Like,
yeah.
So I don't know how much. I don't know. It's at the end of the day, I'd rather you come over. We have a couple of beers or whatever, some espressos or whatever.
Whatever, yeah.
and we're playing a game on the couch, right?
Oh, but local gameplay is the joint. I mean, I wish that was something, but that's just something we can't do because we're not kids. Otherwise, I would have rolled my bike over to your spot right now. And I'd have picked up some ice cream on the way over.
Right.
I live hundreds of miles away.
But then also, there's also like this closeness of being in a party, right?
Yeah.
And even if you're not playing the same game, kind of like talking about the same things, having this ongoing conversation.
Jose doesn't know this because he doesn't have a console, so he doesn't.
He didn't know it's possible.
He doesn't know about. Sorry.
I know about a Jedi console.
Console.
Oh, a console.
Oh
yeah.
Console.
Sorry.
Yeah. So I'm just, at the end of the day, I don't want to see
this. This is the 21st century console right here. Okay, this is all you need. Even though they're selling the little consoles, the Sega and the mini Sega and the mini.
Are you gonna get that?
No, that's terrible. Why would it?
Yo, should we be conspiracy theorists and say like the game came out just in time to distract us from the conventions? Is that
what the Pokemon Go or the other one?
Yeah. The Pokemon Go. I'm trying to bring it full circle, but I'm not much of a conspiracy theorist. But.
I think conspiracy theories are fun, because every now and then they're right. Like there are conspiracies that exist, right? And that some of them are right and some of them are wrong. And the only way to figure it out is to theorize about it. So I'm all for conspiracy theories. I just,
all right.
You just can't.
To get back to our original point.
Right. Sorry. Mm-hmm.
Nobody's in here anymore. They left.
Oh, good.
That's okay.
Weird, man.
We didn't know what was happening.
I was battling them in Arabic, and they were clearly making fun of me.
Oh, you were?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I was trying my best on Google Translate and stuff. One guy said pool chat, and I don't know.
They called you.
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know what that is? It's when someone chats in a pool. At least that's what I took it as. So it's very offensive, and that's why I was a little silent for a little bit. I'm sorry, guys.
I ignored all of it because I just had no idea what was happening.
Right.
The effects are. There's a lot, man. We just went over the effect of it on our private life, our home life, our social media, the workplace.
Maybe let's.
I don't know if it's more prevalent now than ever because of our age. I don't know if this is something that's always been going on, but even Gary Johnson described like this first debate that's going to happen is expected to have more viewers than the Super Bowl.
Right.
That's crazy.
Oh, wow.
There's some big things that are happening here.
Yeah. Let's end on this, if you guys don't mind. What would you like to see happen or not happen, kind of in this sphere of debates and politics? Like, what would you like to see? Not necessarily who would you like to be in the White House, but what would you like to see in terms of how we interact with each other?
Can I answer first? So
yeah.
I can
absolutely
lead the conversation first.
Right.
So I want to see a 4-way presidential debate.
Okay.
I think I already know who I'm voting for. But I want to hear it. I want to see the debate.
Right.
And I want to know, and I want other people to know. I want everybody who lives here in the United States to know what the possibilities are out there. And I know that 3 out of 4 are going to be superb compared to number 4 in the debate.
Yeah, Gary Johnson sucks.
Yeah, right. So yeah, that's my piece. That's what I want to see. I want to see a 4-way presidential debate.
Okay, cool, great, cool. Miguel.
Yeah, pretty much same. I think opening up the debate to at least Jill Stein and Gary Johnson. I think that's really the only way either one of those two parties are going to gain significant traction. And so I'm afraid that that's probably not going to be, they're not going to allow that to happen. The same way lights are turned off on the Sanders supporter in the convention.
Sure.
I feel like, the corporate media blackout will continue, but I would like to see it though. I definitely would like to see it because I want people to see some alternative views that they wouldn't otherwise have a chance to hear about. So yeah, definitely same.
To piggyback off what you said, I would love to see sort of an openness of ideas amongst people, amongst the media, letting these views be known and not have these blackouts amongst each other so that we don't silence each other's ideas for the sake of not messing up what's going on, for disrupting too much in the fear of having one candidate win over the other. And that goes for both sides too, right? Because this whole Jill Stein, Gary Johnson thing isn't just a Hillary issue. It's also for Trump too. Like they're discussing it on both sides of the aisle. So I just want us to and lastly, to stop the shaming, like across the board, to shaming of people's ideas just because you disagree, even if it's strongly that you believe that just the fact that they're having ideas is going to cause a result. I think that needs to end, and just be nicer to each other.
But keep shaming because it's easy to unfriend.
Right. Just, bye. Goodbye. Be nice to each other. Be civil, and remember different. One thing Obama did say is that having different ideas is a good thing. Right.
It's true.
Yeah, it's good.
Brilliant.
Well, it's not
brilliant, man.
Man. I'm not even going to say anything right now.
Hey, I held back for most.
That's where we need to.
One thing
right
Obama
there.
said was, "Don't vote," and I thought that was really articulate when he said, "Don't."
Where's my fanboy son?
Yo, this guy.
One thing Obama said that really stood out was
the third one.
When he hugged Hillary Clinton, I was like, man, this guy can really hug, and she can really receive hugs. So I'm going to vote for her.
Yo,
yes,
we're done.
I'm trying to make work for CNN.
I'm trying to make that explode.
We're done.
All right, guys, this was fun. Thank you. Episode 9.
Take care, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
We'll see you next week.
Send us feedback.
Yeah, please.
And tune in.
Please. We need viewers. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Pause.